Welcome to Botches Off-Road. Today it's kind of like a wrap, but it's only about Poker Run and the weekend of Poker Run because other stuff happened that weekend too.
Yep.
Gavin, how's your Poker Run?
Good.
Since you got more Poker Run than I got.
Yeah, I guess. Pretty much, I mean, I don't know. Pretty much it went really good. We actually had Sienna's dad join us this time, which he doesn't really come out to these. I've been begging him to come out to one. And I'm like, you gotta come to Poker Run. It's fun, dude. And so he finally agreed the night before. And I'm like, oh, shit. I didn't make any room for you. So had to go move some stuff around. And Sienna got the back seat, though. She got out of nav, and I was like, well, Alex is going to nav anyway, so no big deal. Foreshadowing. And so we get all loaded up, get the kid loaded up, and we start heading out, and, we meet up with Alex and the rest of the group, and we take a couple stops. And, yeah, I think that was all pretty smooth. I don't think anything happened on the way, so, and...
It was pretty much the only times we stopped was to clear my window because I kept getting behind slow cars throwing salt, and I don't have a reservoir.
Yeah, so we had to stop and do that, but it felt like we stopped a lot for some reason. I don't know.
Dude, every time we stopped, I'm like, fuck. It's because every time we stopped, everyone got out of every truck.
Yeah, well, when you did that,
when
you had to do your windshield, I had to knock the ice off of my wipers.
Yeah.
So... And then I had to pee a lot. I was drinking a lot of water that day. And I had to buy Imodium and snacks. So I should have had all that stuff done the day before, but whatever. Beggars can't be choosers. So we got up to the starting point, and right before we got there on the road, there was a big truck sitting in the right side of the road. And we're like, what the fuck's going on here? And that was Yamber, and his two-wheel drive Dodge was having a hard time going up the hill.
It's an inability to drive.
Yeah. Well, so he was getting towed, and we went around him. We got into the park. Everybody was there staging. And when I mean everybody, I mean that whole parking area, and then the parts to drive through it were full. We got in, and we just pretty much stopped right in the middle. There were, probably 30-some cars there. Not people.
Yeah, I was pretty crowded.
And
a lot more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was really cool. We all kind of sat around and bullshitted a little bit while we let out air on the tires, and then we tried to make some room for everybody. That's when Leo understood, like, the scale of it. He's like, holy shit, there's a lot of people here. I'm like, yeah. I said, last time I think we were late, so we ended up kind of missing all this. I said, next time we'll have to be either early or what, just so we're not in the group. I would have liked to be early, and if the cords if they always stay the same, I want to be early and start earlier.
Yeah.
Just because it'd just be easier to get first, like get through everything.
Next time, I want to do it backwards.
I will say we could technically, we got there early. We could have us stage at the campsite and wait for the cords to drop and then leave from there. That's opening there.
Backwards wouldn't be bad, actually. I took a road out. We ended up getting out, and the trail out was just pretty nice. But so anyway, we started that, and it was kind of the perfect day for winter wheeling. It was. It wasn't like super snowy. We just got a few inches of powder the night before, so everything was covered in snow. We all got really good traction. Well, some of us did. And yeah, everything went pretty good after we had aired down. All the obstacles, surprisingly, last year were all watery and shitty, and I think we hit one puddle, like one mud spot, the whole Poker Run. And last time we were hitting them everywhere. Like it was almost every part of the trail, so
yep.
That was really unexpected that it was all pretty iced over and frozen. Really cool, though. It made for a lot easier Poker Run, honestly.
And I'm trying to think of what the first obstacle we did. Oh, first we did that loop that we had to cut that tree out of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we started out we started out with that one, and I don't know. We must have been the first group to it. Yeah,
we were the only group that went through that trail.
Yeah, no one else went through there.
So we got out.
The loop and got bypassed for the whole event. I think no one wanted to do the loops.
I think it was just us.
It was kind of annoying too because I was trying to keep it just what we have. Me, Gavin, my little brother was with us, Mark, Shane, and then Busted to Built was supposed to be with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was trying to keep it just, that group so we could just get through obstacles, and everyone kept following us.
Yeah.
So everywhere we went, it was just this long convoy.
And part of that was because we were the first group to leave too. Because once we got aired down and we were like, all right, everybody good? Yep. Okay, we're leaving. And as soon as we did that, everybody else started getting in their trucks and following. So, like I said, I think next year, and maybe I should talk to Derek about this, that we should do staged.
No, don't. Just, we'll go backwards. If you talk to him about it, he's going to set someone else with us, and it's going to be crowded again.
Either way, I mean, I didn't mind. The people that we did have weren't, like, that we had throughout the whole one were cool people. Sorry, I can't remember their names, but we had a Gladiator, we had a Wrangler, we had a safety Chevy. It was like a 1500
full size.
Yeah, it was like a
full size 2017 Silverado.
Yeah,
it was a 2017.
No, you were like 2017. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
but
trying to make two things there.
It was like a safety construction orange. So I was like, who is that? And Derek mentioned it over the radio for a second, and I thought it was like a road worker. And then he started doing the same shit we were, and I'm like, oh, he must be with us. And then we had a really old CJ, right? CJ7?
Yeah, CJ5.
CJ5, sorry. And that guy was really cool. I got some pretty cool video of him rolling around, and he pretty much just walked through everything. I'm sure he was probably a little cold. That thing would just
bone stock. Oh no, he was not cold.
No, they were all wrapped up in that.
Hell no,
cold.
They had no reason to be cold unless the heat didn't work. The heaters on them things will smoke you the fuck out.
Yeah, I don't know. I know when they got out, they were like fully dressed. So, not as opposed to not dressed at all, but you know what I mean. Like they had their Carhartts and stuff on.
Well, it's inconvenient to have to take your Carhartt off in a small space like that.
Small,
but sure. I'll tell you that thing would smoke you the fuck out, dude.
That thing is that
my CJ7. I ran that thing with like just a bikini top and doors on it in the winter, and I was hot.
Yeah, no, that thing was cool. So we had a few guys, and then we had a couple of the Colorados pop in and out. We had the Land Rover that Shane used to have that popped in and out. So we had a few guys that
popped in, then popped out.
So
he only did one loop.
Yeah, he just did the one loop.
So yeah, we had a few. He did help pull the tree out of the way. So when we finally got to that first obstacle, and there were two probably 20-inch trees, something about that size.
Yeah.
And so we decided to cut those out. So man, that's something. I don't think I checked my bar fluid. I think I needed some bar oil. And my batteries I left in there overnight, so they were kind of cold, and I don't know if that's what affected it, along with the tree being frozen. But it was struggling to get through that, and it never has struggled before. Not like that anyway. So I have to look at that. I got to get a chain sharpener too, because I haven't sharpened my chain since I bought it either, so that could be part of it.
I got one of those over on a shelf in my room if you want to borrow it.
Yep. So
don't ask me how to use it. I've never used it. I just put a new chain on whenever I need it.
Yeah. No, I know how to use them. When I did logging and stuff, I had a bunch, but once I stopped, I sold all that stuff with the chainsaw. I wish I would have kept it. That MS310 was a beast. I got it for a really good deal, and then I sold it like a chump. So, like most things.
Yeah, then we kind of, after that loop, we worked our way up to that first hill climb there. Yeah. I'm still bummed that no one got a video of me going up that. because everybody was there.
Yeah, nobody got a video of me doing it either, dude. Which is, I'm sitting there getting videos of everybody else going up, and not
except me.
Well, I don't know where you were when you went up, because I missed it.
You were standing right there when I went
talking
up.
Or doing video with something else, because I didn't even see you go up. I really didn't.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what happened. I never even saw you go up. I think you just was like, "Was you gone?" And I think I saw you pull back in. And I was like, "Oh, he went," and that was all I was like.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was
You actually record my success after like 9 tries.
I'll have to look. I know I got your fails. I do know that.
There were so many fails.
I had to edit out some of them because I won't lie, Mark. I was like, what is he doing? Because when you like hit the gas, and he was sending that shit, and then for some reason he just like pulled into the trees.
Yeah.
And I was like,
2
what
times.
is he doing?
2 times it just got off track. I'm like, why am I over here?
Yeah, and that was the second time I said that, and I was like, okay, what the hell? I'm like, what's going on here?
That's foreshadowing again, I guess. Mark and going off the trail. I just put it in 4 low and pressed the pedal and went up the hill. Like, there was no drama.
Everyone did differently, so it was like hard to gauge what was working for people there.
Yeah, and I did 4 high. I usually go for the wheel speed, and I don't like to over like RPM my truck. And I know it sounds weird because like mechanically I'm sure it's fine, but I just didn't want to like fuck with the rear diff and stuff. Throw it into low, and like I felt like that was more stress. Probably not, but that was just my feeling in the moment. And I was just like, throw it in 4 high. I don't think it's going to be a problem. It never usually is. And yeah, I just went right up at 4 high. Didn't have to do anything else. Just gave it a little bean.
I was impressed with my little brother's first hill climb in his manual, not just in his manual Tacoma, his first hill climb, period.
Yep.
But he did it. He put it in 4 low. I tried 4 high first, threw it in second, and made it, he put it in first, made it halfway up, and then reached for second and realized that he had to back down. And then I told him to just put it in second and 4 low and go, and then he went right up.
Yeah, that made me nervous when he backed back down because he was coming down pretty quick. I was like, dude.
Well, it's because he pressed the clutch in.
Yeah,
it's not like an automatic.
No, I mean,
you're not supposed to try and shift in the middle of a hill like that.
No, I know. I'm just saying when he did start backing up, it was like he didn't even press the brakes. He just was like rolling fast.
If he had what I had, my brakes were locked and I was still sliding back.
Yeah.
No. He pressed the clutch and started to zoom backwards, and then threw it in reverse to try and control it.
Yeah, because I was like, oh man, he's rolling fast. I'm like, he's gonna roll off the trail.
Yeah,
not roll, but like
no.
Like he was going to lose control and go off the trail, but yeah, he did good.
That was 100% clutch. I mean, he came zooming down. I was like, man, but no, he did good.
Yeah,
and he already has a list of things he wants to do to the Tacoma. So
that's usually how you find out what you want. So yeah, I think everyone really did fine. I think Mark just struggled, and I'm not sure.
To be honest, it was the first time actually driving in snow while doing a hill climb like that. Every time we've done that hill climb, it's been sand, no snow. So I was just used to the sand gearing where we put it in low and then whatever, like 2 or 3, depending on how the truck acts.
Right. Yeah, it was just weird because like, I almost was like, maybe it's just his tires. Maybe your tires are just getting to the point.
It could be that too. They are 2 years, almost 3 years actually strong now being used.
Yeah, subtle foreshadowing again. But anyway, we kept moving, and we got past that. We started going again, and everyone started bunching up. So we went and grabbed our card, ran back to our cars, and went and did another loop. And that one, we were sitting there doing it, and I'm looking at Leo, and I'm like, dude, in the summer, this is way bumpier. Like, the snow flattened this trail out so good. It was just like doing a regular dirt road. But when you're going up that hill in the summer, there's some like 4 or 5 inch rocks that you're kind of clumping around in to get up there. But that was pretty easy, honestly. I don't think I took it out of I don't think I put it into 4-wheel drive for much of anything other than that hill and what else? Something later, I think. But
yeah, then we came up to where the next cards were going to be, and there was the oh shoot, not the Cybertruck. What's the other one?
Rivian.
Yeah, the Rivian was sideways inside one of the ruts and like blocking our way in there. So we as a group decided to just bypass that section, which sucks because the Sugar Bowl is really fun.
Yeah, the scramble area.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, honestly, I just wanted to go at that point. Like, the amount of driving we did to get there, like, it was like a good hour or so, and I didn't want to stop and wait for other people. Plus your poker hand only needed to be 5 cards, so we could afford to skip one obstacle. And I was like, yep, you know what? If that means we don't have to do the other bowl, that's fine. Like, we already did one hill climb. I'm okay for this. So, yeah, we skipped that. We kept going, and I think we got to the third one?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, on the way there, Mark.
On the way to the bowl, actually.
Yeah, right. You're right. On the way to the bowl, where Gavin makes a note over the phone. We all have pretty good traction. I'm pretty impressed. And then we just hear, Mark might need help. He's in the ditch.
Yeah. So we were the only group out there. There was a bunch of side-by-sides, which is usual forever. But that was a pretty big group from Everett. And so we all got over so they can get by. And, of course, we're like bottom of the hillside of this, the road. So we have this going downhill on this right side of the road for us. I got over to think I was not going to have any issues getting back out. They all took off. And I proceeded to try to climb out. And all of a sudden I realized I'm sliding further into the ditch and not climbing out of it.
Yeah, so Mark gets out of the car, I think, because Alan's on the mic after, and I'm like, well, do you guys need help? And Alan's just kind of like, I don't know, like, Mark's going to try. And I'm like, okay. Then we didn't hear anything. He's like, yeah, Mark might need help. So I turned around, drove to them, and by the time I got to them, Mark was already winching in his cable. And I was like, all right, well. So Mark got out, and but yeah, he did go off the road a little bit, and that's why we were foreshadowing, because I don't know, I think it might be tires.
No, there was a patch of ice underneath the snow where I was losing grip at, so it wasn't even because of grip on the tire. There was just fucking ice right where I was at.
Perfect.
Luckily, there was a tree that was the right angle to get me pulled out and not me scraping my whole side of my truck up on trees.
Yeah.
Trying to get out of it.
Right. So, yeah, we got him out of there, and we got back with the group, and then we went to, technically, it would be the 4th card, I think.
Yep.
And that one is before you do the obstacle, so we opted out of it because last year it was just muddy, and it was chunky already, and this year, with as cold as it had been, we figured that ice in there would be even worse, and it was. Which we didn't go through it.
I don't think anyone went down that trail.
I think they
Everyone
did.
Came in and grabbed card and left. No one actually went around the loop.
I think some of the later people did because I thought someone got stuck in it. But
yeah, so then
we had lunch.
We set up for lunch. We had our trail chili, which was delicious.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And then Mark tells me, I think when I winched it out, I ran my battery pretty low because my truck's only at 11.9. And I'm like, that's not really how that works. But I don't want to hurry up and get out of here. So if it's still at 11.9 in 5 minutes, we'll go into town and change your alternator.
So we left the truck running the entire lunch break.
It's okay. So did I.
We went back 10 minutes later, and his truck was at 11.6.
6. I thought it was 7. Either way.
Whatever.
It wasn't.
And I'm like, all right, man. We got to go change your fucking alternator. So me and Mark split off, and I So I was parked in a spot where I couldn't back out where we'd already been. I had to go around through deeper snow.
Yep.
What I didn't realize is that section I was about to go through was at least 1.5 feet deep. Like, it was drifted right there. So I pull in and the truck just goes zoom, almost to the frame.
Yeah, and then I hear him just flooring it, getting out of it. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. So now I have to figure out nav because I didn't have any of that pulled up. And so I'm like, all right, Sienna, you're going to have to get back on nav a little bit. So we started that back up, and then we go down the trail probably a couple miles towards the next card, and I get on the walkie, and I'm talking to them, and they're like, and someone gets back, and they're like, so which way did you guys turn out of there? And I'm like, oh, my God. Like, I asked if everybody was there. Everybody said yes. And apparently the safety Chevy did not get the memo and was still hanging out over there. And so by the time we had already gotten a couple miles down the trail, already closer to the next card, he was trying to ask for directions. And I'm like, dude, we're already like, I can't turn around for the entire group and come and get you.
Right.
I'm like, just follow the other guys. Like, we'll try and meet back up, and then you can meet back up with us. I'm sorry, And so we got in, we did the next card, which was pretty easy too, if I remember right. And then we took it was super easy. And then we took a loop that was on the right, and nobody had gone down it. So I thought we were, pretty safe, obviously, going down that one. And as soon as we pulled in, there are branches like at the hood, at our headlights. Like there are these like small bushes that you could tell in the summer they go straight up, maybe kind of bow down a little bit. But with the snow and ice we've got in a couple days, they just went in like this, like almost like a heart, like the top part of a heart.
Yeah.
And they were just crowding over the middle of the hood, and they were pushed down so low that they were below hood level, but they were.
How that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. That's how that first trail was, and I was just bumping it and waiting for him to spring up, and then bumping it, waiting for it to spring up.
So
there were a few times I had to get out and shake him.
Yeah, so that trail that we couldn't even see in front of us, and there's like a ravine to our right, like, and you couldn't tell with the snow like where it started and where it stopped, and then there's a wall to our left where it goes up, and I couldn't see a goddamn thing in front of me with all the branches and stuff down. So I'm like, all right, guys, like, full notice for any of you dudes behind me. Like, we're gonna get some scratch paint, like, maybe with the ice, maybe not. But I was just kind of trying to let everyone know, like, hey, this is gonna be tight. So I start plowing through it, and what are you doing over there,
Alex?
I was checking a notification. My phone started playing video.
I'm
so sorry.
So it's an amateur hour. Yeah. So we start pushing through it, and I got my windshield wipers going because every time I touch a branch, I have a complete full windshield full of snow, and I can't see in front of me at all. And we're going, and Leo, Sienna's dad's like, holy shit, like, this is rough. And you could just hear us scraping everything. And you could see trees like moving behind me, and you could see him whipping around. I'm like, everyone make some space just in case you whip the guy behind you. You don't want to smack any windshields with the ice branches. And I get probably probably halfway through it. And Leo goes, I see headlights. I'm like, they're probably on the other loop, because this was it was kind of a Y loop.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, they're probably on the other loop going the other way. We get going a little closer. Nope, headlights coming right down our fucking trail. And we're like, oh, great. And it was Derek and the other guys, they were taking it backwards. And I was like, fuck. And he's like, can you back up? Do you have anywhere to back up? And I'm like, right now? No. Like, and to Derek's credit, because he was right, they're like 100 or 50 yards back. There was a really big opening that we could have backed up in. But I had 3 brand new people that have never wheeled in a group like this and never done this type of wheeling with like the foliage and having a ravine on our side. And I just not confident that they could do it without potentially slipping off the side of the road or doing something. Like I really honestly didn't want to risk it. And I made the judgment call,
Nope.
Probably the wrong call. I'm sure they probably would have been able to do it. And I was like, Derek, you guys got to back up. And they were all, they were all upset because they were like, no, we got more people. And I'm like, I don't trust it, that these guys can do it safely. And they're like, oh, okay. And so Derek's group just started fiddling around and trying to find ways to back up. And to be fair, they were in a really bad position too. Where they had to back up to was all mud. That was a trail like when you start to get to that next card and the bypasses were mud pits.
The Vagina Trail used to be.
Yeah. So the bypasses were all mud that they had to go into. And so they really didn't have very many places. And so, hindsight's 2020, maybe we should have backed up. It probably would have been easier. But again, whatever. Everyone lived. Nobody got stuck. So they finally got backed up. We drove through. They warned us that there was a pretty big mud pit that someone got stuck in, and we're all like, oh, yay. After that, we weren't really too enthused about it. And we got to the mud pit, and you could see there's like 2-foot ruts going down where they broke through the ice. And I was like, yeah, we're not going to hit that. And so I stayed to the right, and sure as shit, I slid right down into my back wheel slid right down into the rut, and I hit it. And I just fucking hit the gas and went through it. No problem. Got through it. Warned everyone
When
else.
in doubt, throttle out.
Yep. And when I warned everyone else, I'm sitting there watching my rear camera. Everybody else took the good line. They didn't slide in. They just drove right through it. I'm like, all right, well, fuck it, whatever. So we got to our next, we got to the next card and, oh, okay, sorry. My wife is locking the door so the kid doesn't come in and try to bother me. But yeah, so
we like the Jasper interruptions.
Yeah, something like that. It brings me off my game. But yeah, I think, and I lost count. I think going towards the last one. Hold on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that should be the last.
You were.
Sorry, yep.
At the off-camber
For a
section.
second, so I thought I lost you guys. So, yeah, internet errors, but yeah, so we get to the last section. There's a bunch of people grouped up down there, and they're all kind of like, oh, we don't know if we should do this. I don't know. And they're all like, well, we're going to take the bypass. There's a bypass there. And I'm like, bypass? And then I remember last year when we made a bypass, we didn't make it.
We didn't make that bypass. So it was already there.
I immediately went to correct it. We didn't make it. It was there. It just wasn't well traveled. Like, we were the ones that re-traveled it. So,
yes.
It was a new bypass.
Yep.
So anyway, everyone else is sitting there like, yeah, we're going to try and take this. And you don't even try that one. It's not worth it. Like, and he was a guy with a Super Duty. And to be fair, he couldn't. But like, he's like, yeah, there's no way anyone here is going to be able to make it. The articulation, it's crazy. You'd need a buggy to do it. And I'm like, we just did this 3 months ago. Like, I did it without any problems.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's worse now. Whenever you did it, it's way worse. There's a big rut on the left. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, yeah, like
that's how they are.
This is like the third time I've done it. Like, so he's telling me that a couple other guys come in that did it last year, and they're like, yeah, no, it looks way worse. And I'm like, does it? They're like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know, man. And I'm sitting there talking to the group, and I'm like, maybe we don't do this one. And they're all like, well, is anybody going to try? And I'm like, I'll creep up. I'll try it. Worst comes to worst, I could just back out. And I get up, and, I just throw it in 4 high. I don't even have it in 4 low yet. I creep pretty much through the whole thing, get about halfway through, and I get some articulation. Wheels start spinning. Throw it in 4 low, lock the diff. Keep crawling through everything, and we get up to the end where the people at the top of the bypass are grabbing cards, and there's 2 Colorados right up at the top by the cards. And we get to that last part where we get that real deep rut that you went into last year. And I'm trying to hug the right like I did last time to stay out of from doing body damage or whatever. And I do pretty good. I'm doing it, and then boom, slide in. And I'm like, all right, well, fuck. And Leo was taking video with both cameras phones. He had one going vertical, one going horizontal like this. And then he went from that to dropping both and grabbing the oh shit handle because all of a sudden he was like in my seat. Yep.
Nope.
And I'm sitting there, my elbows touching the snow outside of the window because that's, people don't understand like how much that really throws you on like your side. Like we weren't on our body, but I was touching snow with my elbow that was, on the ground. Like I could reach out on the ground and grab dirt.
That was me like
I so wish that I had been there when them guys were saying that, because I'd been like, all right, just got it and went up it. Like,
so that's what that's what I did. And then I got to that and I was like, well, and Leo's like, well, shit. And I'm like, yeah, no. I said, we're good. I said, we haven't, we're not scraping body or anything. I try to go forward a little bit. I can go forward a little bit, but I'm worried if I send it, I'm going to like run into those Colorados. So I'm like, hey, can you guys move the Colorados? I back up. No problem backing up at all. I try to go again. I'm just not getting it. So and then one of the guy from the Colorados, I can't forget his name. He's really cool. I think he's got the black one.
Probably Jax.
Yep.
Jackson.
Got the Colorado out of the way, and then he's helping try to like spot me. He's like, yeah, let's just back it up more. And you just try to take the full right side again. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I back it up. I'm actually grabbing the right side this time. My tires are. So I'm like, oh, cool. I'm going to be able to hop up here. And I go from this is the trail here. This is my, just think of a straight. And my rear tire, I start sliding down. My rear tire hits the rut. And all of a sudden, I'm crawling sideways the trail. So like my top front end is on the right high part of the trail. Yeah, and I crab crawled for about I don't know 4 feet. I almost got out of it until I pretty much lost traction and locked myself sideways in the trail, completely sideways. And I'm like, well, shit. So I try to back up. I could feel I'm hung up on my bumper along the bank. I try to go forward. I just spin. And Jackson's like, yeah, well, that's fucking weird. And then I hear Shane out of the back corner going, how the fuck did you do that? I'm like, I don't know. We're just hanging out here. And so, like, Jackson's like, well, you want me to get your winch in? I was like, yeah, probably. So he hooked up to the winch to the front. He moved me probably like 4 or so inches, and that was just enough to keep me up on the trail. My other tire grabbed, and then boom, I was right up. I crawled right up the right. They told me to stop because I was going to run over the line because I was just like, fuck it, I got to go. So they finally, they grabbed the line and started pulling it, and I just drove right up and was out. And everybody's like, oh, shit, you got it. I'm like, yeah. I was like, Shane, you next? He's like, nah. I'm good. I'm like, so nobody else did it in that group. So I was the only one there. I was the first one to do it. And I was the only one of that large group to do it. So I was like, hey, cool, good job, me. And so we got that. We drove off. And as we were getting ready to drive off, Yamber started walking up it and saw that I was up there. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna go up here. I'm like, yeah, well, I know you could do it. That's no problem for yours. And he did. He just crawled his right up. And then Busted to Built, they got up there. And they crawled it like nothing. Oh, yeah. Like you could barely even tell. When they went through it, it looked like there was nothing even going on. Yeah, damn near straight. I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. So we got out of that. We're just, chilling. I was excited and I was gloating a little bit because I was like, like I'm the only one that got it. And finally I'm like, fuck, how are we going to get out of here? And I didn't have that planned out. So I'm like, Sienna, Nav. So we're sitting on Nav for a couple of minutes, and we're like, all right, I think we found a spot. All right, guys, going to have to follow me. This might get shitty. I don't know what the trail's going to look like. And, it wasn't bad. Everything else was just pretty much just dirt road to get out. And we got out of the trail, did that blue trail. That wasn't even hard, and got out of that. Connected to a main road. And then right before we hit concrete, we decided to air up. Somehow the exact same place we aired up at last year on that dirt road next to the field. And Your brother pulls up. He's like, I don't have a compressor. I'm like, all right, well, I figured someone wasn't gonna have one.
I was supposed to be his compressor.
I was like, that's fine. I'll fill you up. Like, no problem. So I get out. I hook my compressor up. It doesn't turn on. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? Like, there's got to be something wrong with my Anderson at this point because there's no reason why my compressor wouldn't turn on. So I'm using my Leatherman to, like, open that sheet metal bolt or screw that I put in, pull it out. Fucking negative cable is cracked right where it meets up with the Anderson, and I kind of flex it a little bit, and boom, just breaks free. There's a fuck ton of, like, corrosion on the inside. So I'm like, fuck. So I went to go use my jumper cables and hook those up, and I hooked those up to the positive and negative. The other side of the jumper cable came right off. The negative end just, like, fell off as I was doing that. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just touch the negative to it. Touched the negative, got sparks. I'm like, that's weird. Why am I getting sparks? And so I tried it again, sparks again. And it was like sparks like welding. It was not power sparks. It was like I had them mixed up. But I couldn't. Like, I just plugged the Andersons in. To the jumper, right? So, like, I just plugged the Anderson from the Thor's Lightning to the Anderson to the jumper cables. I'm wondering if I might have gotten the jumper cable Anderson flip-flopped. If I had because I haven't really used those. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's possible.
What I ended up thinking I did was I shorted out the fuse in the Thor's Lightning because when I was like, fuck it. Like, I got to air up, like, and I got to air him up. I just cut the ends off of the Anderson on the Thor's Lightning, and your brother was talking to me for a second, then the other guy came up and was asking what was wrong, and in that process, I forgot which one was the positive and negative. Because they're both black. I'm like, this is exactly why I need the tube, the labels on here. I need to be able to label these. So I'm like, all right. So I go and touch them on the battery. Nothing happens. Switch sides. I'm like, oh, fuck it. Maybe different side. Nothing happens. I'm like, all right, well, now I'm fucked because if I didn't fry it, I fried it now. So I'm pretty sure it's a fuse. I got to take it apart. I actually brought it inside today to dry out and warm up so I could take the casing off. I ended up just throwing it back in my truck, packing everything up. They used, one of the other guy had a Milwaukee pump. So your brother used that. And I'm like, we're running out of time. I'm like, it's 4:30. We got to be there. So I just drove. I'm like, I'm going 45 and you guys can follow or you can pass me. And they're like, we don't know how to get there, so we're going to follow you. I'm like, all right, cool. So we get to the bowling alley. I'm like, I'm just going to fill up at the gas station later. We do that, and I'm sitting there talking to the guys, and everyone's asking, well, who did the obstacle? And I'm like, yeah, it was me. And they're like, oh, you actually made it? I'm like, yeah. And then Joe's like, well, I did too. I'm like, cool. Dang it. So someone else actually got to do it. And yeah, Alex and everyone else were there. We did the giveaways, and I had a trash hand, and I thought I had a 3 of a kind, but that's not a thing because it has to be like 3 of the same number and suit. And
right.
We had we had 3 spades. Well, we had 4 spades in a club or something like that. I don't remember. And yeah, it wasn't any hand, so we had nothing. We had a trash hand. And then coming to find out, people were actually picking the hand they wanted. And I understand that confusion. And when I looked back at the comments in Facebook, Derek said yes to do that. And I was like, fuck. Because our group would have had the best hand because we pretty much hit all of those first. We hit a lot of those obstacles first. So we would have had a really good hand for the first half until we started running into people doing them backwards. So it's okay. I think the rewards were, there was a tray. I don't remember what it's called, Tray USA or something like that. It was a diff breather
tray
kit.
4x4.
Yep, and then
Fury.
Something else. Oh, it was like camp lighting. So those are the main prizes. And then Busted to Built was really cool. They put up a prize pack. That was super cool of them because they absolutely didn't have to do that either. But they put up some prize packs together. And they gave one out to whoever had the smallest tires and whoever got stuck the most, which I don't remember. I think it came into a tie, but I think it was
It was the Rivian that won that one.
It was a tie, but he got stuck the worst. I think it was. So
yeah,
that was a lot of fun. And we sat there. We all kind of like forgoed dinner because last time dinner took forever. Good pizza and stuff. It's just I think last time me and Shane left at like 10 with our pizzas finally. So
and me and Mark actually left before the giveaways because we both had to work early in the morning. We're like, yep, we're out.
To be honest, I was more there for the just being there, not actually participating in the whole
yeah, I didn't really care about the giveaway.
I was just
there to do it.
I was just drawing random cards to make it harder for everyone else. I didn't even care.
Yeah, I think at this point we were all kind of just there for the camaraderie, just for to be out there with our friends.
Yep.
And the poker run's a good opportunity to meet people you haven't seen in months. And that was even Leo kind of made a comment. Sienna talked to me. She was like, "Leo says you talk a lot." I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Especially when you're meeting up with like some of your good friends you haven't seen in months. Like some of these guys I haven't seen half the summer since summertime. And, because they haven't been to a Riggs and Coffee, or some of them I haven't met at all. So.
Yeah, they're mostly on the east side of the state, so this is one of their events that they can get to us.
Yeah, so a lot of the times you're meeting a lot of people, you're re-meeting, you're visiting a lot of these people, and it's just a really good event to like branch out, talk to people, get to know. I mean, we made some new friends. Like I think the Rivian guy added me on Instagram. He's got a couple cool videos of him driving around.
He's a cool guy in general.
Yep.
Yeah, we got some cool videos. I got to actually meet some of the faces behind some of the people I've followed on Instagram and never really met in person. So it's a really great event for that. I don't know. We had fun. I mean, honestly, it was way better this year than it was last year for me. I don't know about you guys. Overall, I think I liked it better this year.
It'd have been way better if I got to wheel.
Yeah. Hell, things happen. So you guys heard my whole story. Let's break off to Alex and Mark's part of the story where they break off because they have their own little story here.
Yeah. So short story real quick. If you have an issue with alternator and battery, even though it's supposedly your alternator is fine, just replace the alternator. You had a trouble with it, you might as well replace it. That's the short story. Now for the longs.
And don't trust O'Reilly's or AutoZone or any of those alternator testers because they're all fucking junk, dude.
I don't know. There had to be be some like notification because like I've had them work pretty good to tell you whether they're good or bad. But I kind of watched the constant voltage with my voltmeter because I'm petrified. I installed a voltmeter, a digital one, on my dash area so that I could constantly watch it because I've gone through 2 alternators in the past few years. Because you get a new one, and after like 50-some, 100-some miles, it goes bad again because it's a reman. So like.
But don't buy remans.
And at the time, that's all I had money for. So, but
usually it's the only thing in stock.
That's also true. So then and of course I get a new one for free. Like the warranty is great on that, but it's still I have to pull it out and put a new one back in. But yeah, I'm always watching that. So there had to have been some kind of telltale sign that one was going bad again. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Was it the actual alternator? You didn't have anything going wrong with like the belt or anything, right?
No, not majorly. The another reason why I think it's the alternator because you can watch it when it looks like it engaged, because it jumped up like 0.3 and then dropped right back down to where it was.
Yeah, it must have been having some issues.
So to me, it was like partially engaging, but not.
So you guys ended up peeling off, and then you went to O'Reilly's, right? Because that's usually that's usually Alex's favorite. So I'm assuming that's O'Reilly's.
Well, because we have a
shop discount.
No, I mean, I'm not judging. It's not just because my wife works at AutoZone or anything. I'm just saying, like, usually that's Alex's favorite.
When we can almost get parts half off, it's kind of hard not to go to them.
Oh, I don't blame you.
We actually, so my roommate, his brakes were going bad on his car, so we went to get brakes for his, and they were like, he's got a Chevy Malibu, some little piece of shit, but they were like $279 or something like that, and then I put in my account and it knocked it down to like $105.
Yeah, what's crazy about that, just for a tangent real quick, is that like that's just part of the markup for them. Like they're not even at cost there. They're still marked up. So like people who make parts make a crazy amount of money on parts. Just absolutely. And of course that's why they make them to fail. So you have to keep buying them. Just saying.
Yeah, because with our discount, a lot of times we get damn near O'Reilly's price for them, which is pretty nice. Not every part's that way, but a lot of them end up that way. But yes.
They can take it.
Yep. Yeah, so we get his alternator out, get the new one in, and then realize his belt's bad. So then we had to drop the skid plate to put the new belt on. Pain in the ass. Then, oh yeah, we haven't even gotten through this weekend. We're at an hour and we still got like 2 more major things to get through. So then, we get Mark's alternator changed. We go changing cards, then we go home. That's it. The rest of that was easy.
Yeah. Then
the next day, I just get this random picture on our group chat of every single component of Mark's truck laid out. Every accessory. Pretty close, dude.
Just the pulleys and the freaking belt that got chewed up on the way to work again.
So
that tells me that there must have been a pulley he had too, then. And that might have affected.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I already replaced the tensioner like 2 weeks ago. So,
yeah.
Unfortunately, I have been dealt with 3 belts or destroyed 3 belts within 3 weeks. Technically 2 in one day.
Always carry spare belts, guys.
Yeah. So,
which I do have another spare belt because I don't know what's going to happen now. But I'm like, okay.
But yeah, so Mark did his his pulleys and everything again.
Yeah. Also, technically, before we went trailing, I had a feeling something was going to go out. I didn't think it was going to be the alternator. So I already had a pulley, and then I bought the lower one, my lower pulley, which is different from my other ones, which I figured that one out. So I have like 2 upper pulleys, which is just bearing on wheels, while the lower one's like a beefed up bearing.
Yep.
He's like a thick boy and it's stiff.
Yeah, so all Mark's accessories are new. All his pulleys are new. His belt's new 3 times.
Yeah.
That's rough, but I've been there. So usually, if you could afford it, which half the time I can't, but if you can, replace them all and then buy spares of all of them. Like, so with a Toyota's like, and I don't know, I only have experience with my Toyota, but with Toyotas in general, with the alternator lower, you go through muddy water a few times, and that could be,
mine's
that could be all you need to ruin that whole set of pulleys, go through the belt because of that, and then the alternator. So it's one of those things where, like, if you end up doing the overlanding thing and you end up taking your vehicle through water and you know it's going to go through water, you need to have a spare set of all pulleys, all belts, and if you can, a spare alternator to rotate out.
Mark, isn't your alternator and Gavin's alternator in the same spot?
Mine, he says it sits lower than his. We technically should be the same because we are the same engine. I would find it hard to believe that they switch up the setup.
I mean, mine's lower. I think it's weight.
Mark's is lower than mine. Mark's is lower than mine.
AC compressor.
I know mine's towards the bottom of the engine, and that's like, it's below the other pulleys.
Gavin's.
I would say mine's mid.
Gavin's is also right above the AC compressor.
Yeah,
I think I'm actually using the same alternator you do. I didn't have a spare, or I would have gave it to you, but I think I use the same alternator because the Tacoma.
There's only two alternators because one's towing, one is the towing package, and one's not.
Well, the FJ alternator is different from the Tacoma alternator. Riddle me that. The Tacoma one puts the amperage.
So I'm looking at it now. The FJ alternator is the same as the one that's supposed to be in Mark's truck, but we did the higher amperage one, which is probably the one you've got.
So
because there's two different ones for the Tacoma, which one's the same as the FJ, the other one's not.
With the higher amperage, Mark is saying. And because for some reason, I was talking to a buddy when I was replacing mine, and he's like, just go with the Tacoma one. It's the same fitment because it's the same engine, but they have a higher amperage. I didn't specify when I got that alternator which one to get. I just got the Tacoma alternator because I didn't know there were two different ones, and that's what I got. So I'll have to make sure that was a higher amperage one next time when I have to go through another one. But I'm going to go to Rock Auto. I'm going to buy the cheapest alternator I can, and then I will replace that one. And then the next time I find a parts store, I will warranty my old alternator, and I will, I'll run the cheapo as long as I can, and I will just rotate them like that.
Yeah, I highly recommend just buying the alternator that you would have in the truck anyway. That way, when you do a trail fix, it's just the fix.
Yeah, effectively, I'd like to get two of the same AutoZone warranted alternators because I could just flip-flop them. So one goes out, there's a lifetime, which is crazy that they offer a lifetime with an alternator. Those go bad like every couple of years, it seems like. So, and in our case, every couple months. And so I think that's the most replaced part. Like, I've replaced alternators more than brakes, which is probably also my fault too.
I've had, so the original alternator to my truck died 2 years ago, and then the one that I had replaced it with just died a couple weeks ago. So I've done it twice in
I've done it twice 3 years. In 3 years as well. This would be the second one.
Yeah, so after that whole fiasco, we had a pretty chill weekend of just playing games, really. Then Sunday night, I was headed to Fremont to get some groceries, and I came across this Ford Explorer that had went off the road somehow. The road was clear. I have no idea how this dude went down in a ditch.
Sounds like...
But he had... Yeah. So the back of his truck was against a sign, and the front of his truck was against a mailbox. So I kind of wheedled him out the best I could, and got him to a point where all I had to do was pull the front of his truck over like 6 to 7 inches, right? So that I could just pull him straight out of there. And as I'm doing that, I just hear pop, and my bumper goes doop and points down. So I ended up ripping the top of my frame where it was welded to the bumper, and then broke all the welds from that point and bent the bumper down. And it's funny because I made a reel about this, and like it got pretty big. And there's all these dudes just trying to slam me. Oh, I wouldn't have towed from that angle anyway. Oh, it's just user error. And it's like, dude, how else are you supposed to get the front of that truck over without hitting anything? Like, he was wedged in, like, I'm not saying it's preferred, and I didn't have my tow strap with me because I'd taken it all out at this point. Like, I just had to pull him over a little bit to be able to winch him forward.
When you're watching a video like that, and this goes for a lot of our videos, reels, anybody's, you only get part of the story. So the comments don't really help when you're trying to, like, be corrective, and you're like, you have no idea what situation was really there. Like, we don't have a bird's eye view of the situation. This was who shot that anyway? Was that Kaylin?
No, my roommate Ryan.
I was like, damn, he got a cameraman for his recoveries? What the fuck? I'm sitting there, I'm like, why do we have cameramans for our last recovery? What the hell? So, yeah. Oh,
I was about to say, I think someone would have critiqued how I got out of my situation, but all I had was around a tree.
There will always...
I would have been ideal if I had a tree saver.
There will always be a hater, and that's how you know you're doing something right. When you start getting enough comments and shit that some of them are negative, like, there will always be a hater.
Yeah, we got that kid out. I had to stop traffic for like 2 minutes. In that 2 minutes, an ambulance pulled up without their lights on or anything. They watched me break my bumper, and then the paramedic in the passenger side gets out as I'm disconnecting to pull forward and let him through. You got to move your vehicle. I'm like, oh, you fucking prick.
I know. We're working. It's crazy. Oh, and so was that it? Was that all of it? Because I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So I did a follow-up because it was dark when I finally got home. I couldn't walk my truck and see what was really, if I had damaged anything really. And I did the walk around. It's been raining all day today and stuff. And so I'm like, cool, I'll be able to see any scratches. I didn't really have any scratches, which makes sense because those bushes that we went through were covered in ice. So they probably wouldn't have scratched. But going through those bushes, I had so many of them grabbing up and getting pinched in between the awning that it actually ripped my awning off of the mount. It like snapped snapped the bolt, or it ripped it out of the channel. And so my awning was just hanging on by the 2 bolts in the back. And so that was hanging off, and I was like, whatever. Like, as far as damage goes, that was probably best case scenario. So I was cool with it. I just was like, whatever. Wrapped a strap around it, called it a day. It was like, it for everything that we did that day, and for all the stuff that I'm worried about already with my diff and everything, my axle, I'm like, if I rip my awning off, well, fuck it. Like, it was barely $100 awning. Like, I could just throw it back on, no big deal. Of course, I had my fucking limb risers off, and I made a reel about that too. And I tagged Eagle Pursuit. Yep.
Yeah, Eagle's Pursuit.
Middle. And I knew that he's an avid YouTube watcher as well, so I knew he'd get the joke. And I said, so what do you think about limb risers now? Because Ozark Overlanders, they made a video about like useless items that people usually get. And he said that in that video, he said that limb risers were useless. So I made the joke. I was just like, what do you think about it now? And he goes, I bet you he'd change his mind then. I'm like, yeah. I said, I'd tag him if he would answer, but I don't want to make him think that I'm like making fun of him or anything. But in that situation with those bushes, limb risers would have been mint. But I didn't have them on. I took them off and had them inside my door, because I was worried that I was going to have some other issue with the battery, because my battery had been dead. Turns out it was because auxiliary power was turned on the whole time, so it completely drained my battery. But I was worried that I had a cell die or something, but thankfully. And then I got really worried when we were going through those bushes because my windshield wipers stopped working completely. Turns out it was because there was so much fucking snow and brush underneath the windshield wipers that they couldn't cycle down all the way. So I had to actually get out and with my snow brush and clear all the snow and stuff out. And then they worked, and I was like, whoo, because I thought I was losing power. But yeah, no, everything went good. It was a really fun poker run. We didn't have any really serious catastrophic failures. Nobody debeated, that was a great success. Very good. Because that was like, last year it was cold and shitty, and that was just a pain in the ass last year. It was not a big deal. Like, we got it done within in about an hour
Yeah.
or so. But it was just a horrible spot for a D-bead to happen. and in the
100%,
snow,
it was a
I had
horrible
like this
spot.
shitty free, like, what was it, like 2-ton jack or something that I've been using as my off-road jack. And that was sinking into the snow and sliding. And it was like, okay, I need a new jack. Yeah, yes, I still haven't done that yet. But like, it still works. Still works. It was free. So, yeah, it was a good poker run, man.
We should get Gavin one of the jack stand jacks, which last year, if my truck wasn't at the bottom of the hill with the jack stand jack, we would have used it.
No, I think I have one in my car. It's a bottle style, but it's got a extended pad out so that it won't sink. But it's like a 4-ton bottle jack.
If you're gonna do a bottle jack, do the jack stand jack. Because then you get. Does it have a jack stand on it?
I'll share it to you guys later.
Yeah, because if you're already doing a bottle jack, you may as well do one that's.
You could throw the. Yeah.
Yeah, then you just lock it, and boom, now it's a jack stand, and you don't got to worry about it collapsing.
Like set up at the base with the. I think there's a pin there to lock it, but yeah.
Sounds about right.
That's what when I was reading, that was probably the best bang for my buck. The off-road jacks, they're big. They're really expensive, man. Like I just can't see paying like $300 for bigger wheels, honestly. It's pretty much the only they look cool.
They look cool.
Kind of the only difference really from a regular lowboy or something is it just have bigger wheels. I feel like we could do that at home. And just use like casters or something and longer bolts and still be able to do it. So
yeah, you want something like this one I'm sending you right now. That is the best bang for your buck off-road jack you can buy
in my cart
because it gives good. Yeah, that gives you one that pin, you pull it out and it's height adjustable. And then 2, it's got that switch up and down to put it in jack stand mode. And they're only $80. Like, it's by far the best thing you could buy.
It sucks that they haven't been back in Tractor Supply since that one year we bought them.
Yeah.
I've not seen one back in Tractor Supply. Everyone keeps asking.
Dude, I had some really good like off-road stuff a while back, and they stopped making money on it. So, like, they sold all the good off-road lights that they had, because they did have some good ones. They pretty much got rid of all the nice synthetic winches that they had. And, let's see, is it the Powerbilt, right? Yeah, that's exactly the one I have in here.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
Cat just came out with an even nicer one.
Oh, yeah, that looks smaller.
That's a 1 ton more. Well, it's not small. It's a bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she goes
bigger
too. Oh,
I was saying like it looks shorter, like to start.
Yeah, well, they've got adjustable. I don't know. The cat one just looks nice.
They also don't have the jack stand corners like they usually do. The other one, this one.
Yeah,
they do have an off-road trolley jack. If you look at that same selection, that's only $149 rather than $300.
I see their off-road trolley jack that's $426.
149?
Yeah. Hold on, let me copy and paste.
Huh.
Because it says 149 on mine.
Oh, you're looking at the 3-in-1 one, Alex. He's looking at a bigger one.
Yeah, check that link.
There's an off-road
trolley. Oh yeah, look at that.
Looking at the car ATV and
it's a 2-ton. It's yeah.
The little one.
The 2-ton should be able to do it, right?
Yeah, I don't know. And
it just doesn't have a lock.
I just don't know how I feel about those floor jacks with big wheels on them.
I think they're kind of gimmicky. I'll be honest.
I mean,
yeah.
You want to talk about gimmicky? You got O'Reilly's tank track.
No, that isn't gimmicky. The one with tank tracks is not a gimmick.
O'Reilly's got him ensnared.
No, it's super sick. It looks awesome. That is the future, man. Green?
Yeah, that's exactly why.
It looks like the Halo. It looks like the Halo tank got turned into a jack stand.
Dude, it's honestly like I don't see it ever being useful, but it looks fucking cool.
A tank, I'm like, if it's OD green, it's all.
It has a headlight, damn it.
God, tank tough. You know what?
I forgot
if it was electronically assisted to move or something, I would be like, cool. That'd be cool. Like battery, because the biggest issue with these floor jacks is getting them to move on uneven terrain. If it was electronically assisted, like with a controller or something, that you could actually get it to move under the car where you wanted it, I'd be like, shit, that's pretty dope. But that's interesting. $400 for that thing. My Lord. It's a 3-ton.
I wonder how easily those tape tracks will get destroyed.
I guess. So I'm looking at reviews right now, right? On Reddit, of all places.
Okay.
Everyone says the best part about it is that it moves over terrain better than the Harbor Freight Jack.
O'Reilly's at the 1-stars, and they got would not lift tank, would not roll in mud or dirt. The other one says doesn't work outside at all. Dirt and gravel stops it dead, and it's literal tracks.
So, literally, the thing about the O'Reilly's reviews is that there was a meme for a while of just writing bullshit reviews on the O'Reilly's website for this jack.
This could be it, because it says, so gravel gets stuck inside the track frames and completely locks the tracks from moving. Heck, it barely rolls on hard pavement. Save your money. What vehicle did you purchase this for? A 2004 AM General M1151 Humvee.
Yeah, like, literally, there was a meme for like 6 months of just roasting O'Reilly's in their review section.
My Jack, but it returned it the same day. Hard to push, hard to turn. Not what I expected. What was this for? A 2018 Ram. Went to order and not a real item. Tried ordering for government to test and was ignored. Tried ordering for 24 hours and ignored. No response. That one sounds like a meme one.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Jacks are jacks.
Having a jack is better than no jack. Yeah. Like, I'm not a big...
Any jack's better than no jack.
Farm jacks, to be honest. I think they're more danger than they're worth. And a lot of the times, overlanding with typical starter vehicles, you don't have a ton of points that you can actually jack off of. Like, there are a lot of people like me, for instance, that I don't have welded sliders that I could hook that up to. So not having welded sliders, you could try to do a pinch point, but you can't because the body rounds out too far for you to actually get the lip of the farm jack on. So you're pretty much limited to, if you have a steel bumper, or steel, front bumper. And a lot of the times, I don't have a steel front bumper. So I'm looking at rear bumper only. So God help me if anything else goes wrong.
And even your rear bumper, you don't have anywhere to put that without taking your spare tire off, because the only spot you've got on your rear bumper to put it is in your hitch receiver.
I've done it before. It was super sketchy, and I did it to the side of the side part of my bumper to do just a corner. But still, the issue with those is they're so floppy. When you finally get them up to the height that you need them to, they want to teeter either side. There's no real stability with them.
If you do it right, it's not a problem. But the problem is that's not what it was. Back 2016, 17, farm jacks there was a lot of education around them. Well, then end of 17, going into 18, it just became the thing to have a farm jack on your off-road truck.
Yeah.
So like you started seeing them just like mounted to the hoods of Jeeps, and I've done recoveries with farm jacks. I've used them pretty much every way you're not supposed to and every way you are. And they are a useful tool, but 9 times out of 10, having something else is the better move.
To me, they're useful, They're better than nothing. And the nice thing is you could kind of use them as a come along if you have the skill to like hook them up right. But like if you have a winch and if you have almost any other jack, those are more useful.
I used one as a winch for a long time with my DJ because I didn't want to spend the money on a winch.
I've seen the horror stories. I watched Joe Yamber, and this was after the 4th time he's had to take it out and put it back on because he had it mounted to his spare tire carrier. I watched him. He wasn't even near it, but the handle started popping off on its own. It started, the jack itself started messing up. Like it was not.
Well, he didn't. Yeah, so just the jack just started having the handle do this.
Just like gave up. Like you could hear it go clink, and then the handle flew up. It wasn't doing the teeter thing like you do when you just kind of let it go to go down on its own. It just went. You heard like this clink, and it turned out it bent, but it went up. The handle went up once, uppercutted him right in the chin. And he just kind of like walked it off, but I was like, fuck. No. I saw that, and I'm like, hey, he wasn't even near it. It wasn't supposed to be doing anything. He wasn't even trying to like loosen it.
I always secured my handles when I pulled them down to lock them. And then on top of that, the biggest problem with farm jacks is that we went from a time period where farm jacks were useful, and then when they started getting used for off-roading, the Chinese market flooded the farm jack market. And then now I wouldn't trust 98% of the farm jacks because they're not the product that we used to get. I mean, you can go pick one up. You can go pick one up for $75 now. I spent $400 on my old.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw one for $50. I have one. I have a farm jack, and I've used it a couple of times, and every time it was way sketchier than it would have been to just throw a regular floor jack underneath it. And every time that I did use it, I should have and could have used a floor jack and was just lazy. So that's
yeah, and that's why we went to the jack stand jack. It's just
it's not only safer, it takes up a little bit less space than a large floor jack. It has a jack stand on it, so you can let it rest on that and not worried about, because typical floor jacks don't. There are some that have locking pins, but typical ones don't. And plus you get a lot more, vertical rise typically out of the bottle sized jack stands. So you get a higher vertical push, raise, lift, whatever you want to call it, on those. So they're kind of all around better with a smaller footprint. And typically those bottle jacks, like the ones that we have posted, which you could just look them up, they have a big square base. So they're really good for like sand, distributing all that, distributing all the terrain. So kind of the best all around for the most part.
All right, boys, I think it's time we go get that other episode done.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, thanks for listening in, guys, and we will talk to you on the next one.
Later.